this might actually be the biggest night in New York sports history. It's possible. I have to go back and look at some of the stuff because I don't 100% know. Like I can't think all the way back to that. But I think when you look at it, you're never going to have a situation where you have a championship banner or a championship trophy on the line with all these teams because of the fact that, for any team in any city, because of the fact that the seasons are different for each team. So yeah, you could have certain things overlap, but they're not going to overlap like that. But when you look at it and the anticipation of a night, of one night, the Knicks potentially advancing to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 25 years, right? The Mets and Yankees with the anticipation of Soto going back to the Bronx, his first time back to the Bronx, that's huge. So when you have it, when you look at it in totality, this is probably one of the biggest nights in New York sports history when you have Yankees, Mets, Soto back to the Bronx. Yankees and Mets fans are going to be crazy. Knicks, Celtics, it's the Knicks' rival too. Their rival, the defending champs, Celtics having a chance to knock them out at home at the Garden to go to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 25 years. Those things combined make it as big a night as I can remember in recent memory. And I will say this. Let's start with the Knicks, obviously, because that's the bigger story here. Knicks, Celtics. Now, let's just be real and call it like it is if you're a Knicks fan and if you're looking forward to this game and you want to kind of have an objective approach and however you want to look at it, you can look at it. But here's what I think. The Knicks have really been outplayed for the most part in this series, if we're being honest, right? The Celtics blew games 1 and 2. They choked both games away. The Knicks didn't play particularly well in either of those games. They were down by 20 plus late in the second half, both those games, and then the Celtics choked in both fourth quarters. Give the Knicks credit for coming back, but they did choke, and that was a big reason the Knicks were able to win both those games. Game 3, the Celtics blew the doors off the Knicks. Game 4, the Knicks won. And then Game 5, the Celtics blew the doors off the Knicks. So technically, if the Celtics don't choke in games 1 and 2, the Celtics would have won the series last night in 5 games. There's a way you could look at it like that. So if you're the Knicks, I don't care if Tatum's there or not. You got to come into this game tonight and understand the urgency of it. It's not a game 7, but it sure as hell feels like one. And if I'm the Knicks, I got to treat this game just the same as a game 7. Because you don't want to go back to Boston with that crowd after losing 2 in a row, with the team getting all the confidence they have. And Boston's going to know, listen, Boston thinks even without Tatum, they're better than the Knicks. They still think that. And you know what? It's not impossible to say that. It's not wrong to say that. They still have Jaylen Brown's one of the best players in the league. Derek White's an all-star and Olympian. Drew Holiday's an Olympian. Porzingis is one of the better rim-protecting shooter centers in the league. He hasn't been healthy this series, but he's still that. Pritchard's the 6th man of the year. The Celtics, and they're the defending champs. So you could make an argument to say even without Tatum, the Celtics are still a better overall team than the Knicks are with their depth, now that Hauser's back as well. I'm not saying that, but you could make an argument. And the way the Knicks have been outplayed in this series, with and without Tatum, the Knicks have got to play a lot better in this game 6 if they want to come out of this with a win and not blow this 3-1 series lead. And I think everyone in New York, who knows basketball, understands the magnitude of this game 6. Now, if they lose game 6, does it mean that the series is over? Of course not. Of course not. The series is not over until the team gets 4 wins. That's the truth. But at the same time, you don't want to go back to Boston for a game 7, losing 2 games in a row, one on your home court, with no Jason Tatum there. That would just be a confidence kill for the Knicks and a huge confidence boost for Boston. So I think the Knicks understand they got blown out in game 5 and their effort defensively was atrocious. They should be embarrassed by that. And I said that after the game, after game 5. If you watch my YouTube live after the game 5, I said that after the game. They should be embarrassed by that. And when it comes down to it, now, looking at this game, right? Looking at this game, you have a situation where, sorry, my mic wasn't working. Now my mic is back working. So I apologize for the beginning technical difficulties, but we'll just continue anyway. Now it's good to go. You can't come out playing like you did in Game 5 if you're the Knicks. The Knicks treated Game 5 like the Celtics were going to roll over and they were just going to win the series without Tatum. That's what they treated it like. There's no other way to look at that. Their defensive effort was hideous. The Celtics got more open threes in Game 5 than I think they've gotten the whole series, and that's saying a lot because they've had open threes in this series. We know they missed a couple in Games 1 and 2. And they got every open three they could have possibly dreamt of in Game 5, and they made them. And you can't give that team open threes, especially without Tatum. Because now they're going to put even better shooters, and Tatum's a good three-point shooter, but he's a different player. He's an all-level scorer. The Celtics are now going to have snipers and lasers out on the court, just sniping from three. Pritchard, Hauser, White, Holiday, Porzingis, go on down the line. And if the Knicks have that defensive strategy where they give them space on the perimeter, they're going to get run out of the gym again tonight. So if you're a Knicks fan or you're a Knicks supporter, you've got to think the Knicks know this. They have to know it. Although they've treated Derek White this entire series like he can't shoot, which I have no idea how they continue to leave this guy wide open for three time after time after time. He's one of the best three-point shooters in the league. He's their best three-point shooter, off a catch and shoot especially. And they continue to leave him open. He is going to make the shot. I would leave anybody else on their team over him. I would make sure I picked him up out of the team bus. I would have whoever's guarding him, whether it's Bridges, who it looked like a lot in Game 5. I would have Bridges meet him at the team bus and guard him all the way to the locker room. He wouldn't get a look. He wouldn't get a sniff of a good look. So, chat. The Knicks have got, to me, defensively is the most important thing in this Game 6. Because if they play the defense they played and they give up 22 threes again, they're not going to win this game either. Tatum, no Tatum, Michael Jordan, LeBron, doesn't matter who's out there. The Celtics are still a really good team. They're not only the defending champs, but they have a really good basketball team. This isn't the Wizards without Jason Tatum, chat. This is a really good team, and I would argue they're every bit as good as the Pacers, even as they are, who you're going to face next if you win this series. You're not facing the Charlotte Hornets without Jason Tatum here. This is not what this is. If you don't take them seriously, they're going to embarrass you, and they like to embarrass teams. The Celtics love to embarrass their opponent. They love it. So if you're the Knicks, come out tonight with a Game 7 mentality, because that's the type of game this is. Because if they lose tonight, they're not going to win this series most likely. Now, there's always a chance. You can't say there's no chance. They can't go to Boston. They've done it twice, but those games were flukes. And with the confidence Boston's going to have, you don't want to put yourself in that situation. Close it out at the Garden tonight. With your fans behind you, supporting you. Close it out. Stop messing around. And the key for this game, and I'll get into that now, before we get to the Subway Series. The key to this game is not going to be Jalen Brunson. It's not going to be Jaylen Brown. Those guys have to play well for their teams to win. And Brown was sensational in Game 5 for the Celtics. Brunson has to play well. The key for the Knicks is going to be one of two things. Obviously, we've talked about this before. I don't know what's going on with the Knicks offense and how they can get Towns more shots and more shots from three. They can't figure out a way to do it. I don't understand it. Since these teams have put a wing player on him, it's like it's taken Towns completely out of his game, and the Knicks can't figure out how to get him back in his game. This has been going on all season, so I'm not expecting that to change. I'm expecting Towns to go out there, maybe hit a three, and go score 19 to 23 points and grab 10 to 12 rebounds. That's what I'm expecting from him. That's what he's done every game. Because for some reason, they can't figure out a way to get him loose and get him free from the three-point line. They can't do it. And his game is not really banging inside and backing people down. That's not really his game. He can do it a little, but that's not really his game. And Nice or Nice, how do you pronounce your name? I agree with you on that. They don't create quality screens for Cat and let him get involved in the offense. They don't do it for whatever reason. He's got to create himself. They like post him up, and you tell me if I'm wrong. They post him up at the three-point line most of the time. And they tell him, you play iso ball on a wing player or a guard. And once again, should he be able to take them down deep and get him into the rim and post him up? Sure, he's much bigger than them, but that's not really his game, number one, and that's not really how you're going to play 2025 basketball every possession. It's not going to work. You need to open up the court and space the floor, and Towns is not a guy who, look, what Towns likes to do, this is what he wants to do, and this is what the Knicks did early in the season before teams figured this out. He wants to run pick and pop with Brunson, catch the ball at the three-point line. If the center is playing back, he's going to drain it in his face. If he's playing up on him, he's going to pump fake and drive to the basket for a dunk because he's got more foot speed than any center could have. Well, you know what? These teams have adjusted, and they're putting smaller guys on him who have the same foot speed. So what are they doing? They're up in his face on every play so he can't shoot. And Towns, unlike Porzingis, for instance, Porzingis shoots from up here, so he can shoot over anybody. Towns shoots him from his face. So he can't, and you saw him get blocked by Derek White in Game 5. He can't shoot over anyone. That's not what he does. So if he doesn't get room, he can't get his shot off. And the Knicks refuse, and for whatever reason, they can't get him loose. Get him screens like Nice or Nice said. Get him screens on the perimeter. Get him free out there. Even hit him in transition on some threes. They can't find him. That's what I'd be looking to do a lot. Get him as a trailer in transition and get him open and get him loose for those threes, and they won't do it. It's like I've seen how many times I saw in Game 5, he's trailing, get it to Towns, transition, he's open, they won't do it. And then the Celtics recover, and they set their half-court defense up. So, I know what he's going to do, because I haven't seen any adjustments from the Knick offense to create any type of open space for him. Right? And I agree. Nice. I agree with you. Nice. Okay, nice. Okay, got it. Got it. I agree with you, by the way. He's not a post-up player like that. Doesn't mean you can't do it. He can do it sometimes, and it does work sometimes, and you want to do that when you have the height advantage. But you got to get him loose for three and on the perimeter and get him some good looks. That's what he does. That's what he does. He's not a traditional big man. Okay? He's not. He's not a post-up player, so to speak. He's not Embiid. That's not what he is. And the Knicks have not figured out a way to do this. So I know what he's going to do. He's going to give me 20 and 10, and he's going to have he's going to barely take any threes, and he's going to hit a couple shots inside. That's going to be that. So with that said, the key for the Knicks is going to be one of two players, as it always is. The Knicks win games when either Bridges or OG have good offensive games. That's plain and simple. When they both don't play well on offense, the Knicks lose. That's it. They need Brunson and Cat to do what they do, and they need one of those two guys to put up 15 to 20 points and have a good offensive game, and they will win. That's it. It's as simple as that. Game 5, they both stunk. Bridges was 4 of 14, 9 points, and OG was 1 of 12 or whatever he was. 100% nice, 100%. It would open up the lane. And the truth is, in my opinion, watching these games, in this series specifically, it would, and the Knicks are never going to do this because we know Tibbs and how he coaches. Josh Hart with Bridges, with OG in this starting lineup is not the ideal thing. This starting lineup has been killed in this series. They've been outscored a lot. I would put Hart to the bench. It doesn't mean he can't play 25, 30 minutes. He will. Doesn't mean he couldn't finish the game. He can. I love Hart. He's a really good player. But with his lack of shooting and Bridges, who has completely lost his stroke from three-point range, I don't know what happened to him in the playoffs. He's not shooting threes barely at all now. And OG's a very inconsistent three-point shooter. He can be on or he can be off. The Celtics aren't going to guard those guys. They don't guard Josh Hart. They don't care if he makes 4 threes. They're not going to guard him. If he makes 4 threes, they're like, all right, we're better off with that. We'll win like that. We got to shut down Cat, and we got to make Brunson work for his shots. That's what they want to do. Let Hart shoot, let Bridges shoot. That's it. So with that lineup, the Knicks don't have enough spacing to get Towns loose from 3. And what they should do, and you've seen it, the 2 best lineups involve Robinson and Towns at the 4 and 5, which has worked very well, or Deuce McBride in at the 2 guard for Hart or Bridges. Now, I would do it for Hart because Bridges defense, him and OG, you want to keep those guys for defense out there. I would do that. But Deuce has been really good this series. I think he's made 50% of his threes. And he's a threat from 3. They have to guard him out there. And maybe if they put Deuce out there with those starters, that would force the Celtics to put the center back on Towns. And if they did that, Towns would then be back to his office space, to where he likes to work, to his area of comfort. But we haven't seen that Tibbs is going to be willing to do that, and I don't think he will. We know what he feels about Josh Hart, and once again, I love Josh Hart. I think he's a terrific player, but with this roster construction, with the way this starting lineup is constructed, it doesn't work great if the Celtics are going to put their wing defender on Towns and not guard Josh Hart. There's just not a lot of space out there. So that's what I would do. They're not going to do that. So with what's going to happen tonight, you're going to need Bridges or OG to make shots. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. And if I'm the Celtics, I'm going to do exactly what I did in Game 5. I'm going to make Brown now obviously the focal point, and he had a great game. I'm going to make him the focal point, and I'm going to jack up and launch as many threes as I humanly possibly could shoot. I will take 70 threes tonight if I could. Because that's the only way they're going to beat the Knicks, is if they hit 1,000,000 threes, and they know that. And the Knicks don't defend the 3 particularly well. If I were the Knicks, I would literally run them off the 3-point line and make them take any 2 they wanted. They're not going to beat you from there. They don't have enough shot makers without Tatum. But what they can do is they can beat you from 3. With White, with Pritchard. Right? With Horford, with Holiday, with Hauser. They can beat you from 3. They can't beat you from 2 in this series. Not without Tatum. And if you continue to leave Derek White unattended, he is going to bury you. Stop leaving him. Stop. He should be priority 1 at the 3-point line. He looks like priority 20. So, if I'm the Celtics, I'm coming out tonight say, you know what? We won in New York already. We beat them all season. We're 9-2 without Tatum, and we just destroyed them the other night. We can play with this team. We're still better than the Knicks even without Tatum. And we can win in New York. We're not afraid of that. We're the defending champs. So we're going to go in there, and we're going to play free and loose, because they're also playing with house money, the Celtics. They got nothing to lose. They got nothing to lose. They're not expected to win without Tatum. They're not. They won the championship last year anyway. This is a free 2 games for Boston here. Free. Especially tonight. So I'm going out there, I'm playing free and loose, no worries, and they're going to play and just fire up threes. And let the chips fall where they may. And that's a dangerous situation for the Knicks to be in. When you got a team playing with nothing to lose, and the Knicks are going to have all the pressure on them tonight. And I'm telling you one thing, I'll be in the building tonight. I'll be at the Garden. And I'll be out in front of the arena before the game or doing some stuff with fans. So if you're around there, check me out. Come up. I got you. If the Knicks are losing in the second half tonight, it's going to be an anxious crowd. That's all I can tell you. That is going to be one anxious crowd. It's very important. It's imperative the Knicks play a 48-minute game tonight. Don't get down by 10. Don't get down by 15. Don't get blown out in each half. They usually pick the first half to get blown out. That's the last game they pick the second half to get blown out. You got to play a full 48-minute game, offense and defense. You have the best player on the court. You have home court advantage. You're at the Garden. The crowd, it's a Friday night. People are going to be tanked. The crowd is going to be crazy. Use it. Use it. Don't let this one go. Don't blow this. Don't blow this opportunity. You have an opportunity. Do you realize if you're a Knicks fan or if you're a Knicks player, if you're a coach or whatever it is, the Knicks have an opportunity they never thought they would have this year. And most teams don't get. They didn't have a great year this season. I know they won 50 games, but to me it wasn't. They were 0-10 against the best teams. It was not a positive fan base going into the playoffs. I'm sure the players weren't feeling like, hey, we could beat anyone going into these playoffs with the way they played against the top tier teams. It wasn't expected a lot from New York or the basketball world. They expected them to get swept or losing 5 to Boston in the second round. And what happened? Not only do you have a chance to beat Boston, and they lost their best player, but you have a chance to do even more than that. You got the Pacers waiting for you in the conference finals, not Cleveland. And I know the Pacers are a good team, but they're not Cleveland. And the Knicks would much rather face Indiana and have the revenge game against the Pacers from last year's series when everyone got hurt and the Knicks got screwed. But that's part of life. They got the Pacers waiting for them, and they're going to have home court in that series to get to the NBA Finals. And if they do get there, they could face one of two teams that they haven't had trouble beating this year, actually. Denver, they were 2-0 if Denver makes it out of that series. And Minnesota, they were 1-1 and would face two of their old friends, which would be an epic series. If OKC loses Game 7, this NBA playoffs is wide open. Wide open for the Knicks to take it. And this isn't the best Knicks team that we've seen in recent years. I thought last year's team was actually better than this team. They just got injured. But that doesn't matter. This is still a good Knicks team, and you take the chips where they fall. And they have an opportunity here with everything with the landscape the way it is. Tatum injury. Boston blowing the first 2 games. The Pacers in the conference finals. Potentially Denver or Minnesota in the finals if that were to happen. Everything's right there. It's right in front of you to win the first title since 1973. Don't blow this opportunity tonight. Don't blow this opportunity tonight. Take it with both hands. Because tonight's the night. You don't want to go back to Boston for Game 7. Not with the defending champs. No. No. So that's for the Knicks tonight. I'll be at the Garden for Game 6. 8 p.m. sharp start. I'll be out in front of the Garden. You're around 6 o'clock doing stuff with the fans. So if you're around, come by. Now, real quick to the Subway Series, which is not as big of a story, but let's just touch on it real quick. It's the most anticipated Subway Series regular season that I've seen in a long time. And for obvious reasons, right? Obviously, probably the biggest Subway Series ever was 2000 when they met in the World Series. That's probably the truth there. But this is the biggest Subway Series matchup since 2000 for sure. And anticipation-wise, probably almost as big. For this reason. Number one, Soto obviously is the main story. He left the Yankees for their crosstown rivals. He spurned them. The Yankee fans are upset. They've been waiting for this day since he left, since he signed with the Mets. And they can't wait to boo him in the stadium. And all eyes are going to be on Soto's first at-bat at Yankee Stadium. And I'm sure it's going to be a raucous atmosphere. Even with the Knicks playing tonight. Which does take a little steam out of the game. A little bit. But Soto's return. And then number two, both these teams are really good baseball teams this year. Which is rare at this point. The Mets, both ended up good last year, but the Mets struggled in the first half. So when they played the Yankees, they weren't where they were by the end of the season. Right now, the Mets have the second best record in baseball, and the Yankees have the fifth best record in baseball. And their Yankees are playing, and both teams are playing well. So this is a big setting in Yankee Stadium. Soto returns, and both teams are good. Doesn't get better than that. And Judge has been the best player we've seen since Barry Bonds this year. Alonso's doing things with the Mets that he's at the front runner for the MVP. Lindor's been great. You got a million good storylines here. So this should be a fun game and a fun series. And I'll be at Yankee Stadium on tomorrow. Keep forgetting what day it is. I'll be at Yankee Stadium tomorrow afternoon for Mets-Yankees Game 2 of the Subway Series. I'll be at the Garden tonight. So that's going to be a great series. Now, I'll be locked in on the Knicks tonight. I'll be kind of following on my phone a little bit, but I'll be locked in on the Knicks, obviously, as most New Yorkers are. And I hope, and I'm going to say this right now, I did a video on this, so if you didn't see this video, go check out my IG or TikTok. You can check it out. I put up a little straight-to-camera on this. I heard the Yankees may not let, and I think this would be a mistake for the Yankees if they did this. I heard they may not let the fans stay in the ballpark after the game to watch the end of the Knicks game. Because if you look at the timing of both games, the Yankees-Mets starts at 7:05, the Knicks-Celtics starts at 8, which means that most likely, in a regular game, the Yankee-Met game will end around 9:30, 9:45 maybe, which means the Knicks and Celtics will be in basically the beginning of the fourth quarter. And I heard the Yankees may not put the end of the Knicks game on the Jumbotron after the Yankee-Met game ends and let the fans stay and watch the game after the baseball game. And that would be a massive mistake, in my opinion, if they did that. This is a huge night for New York sports. Let the fans who came to the ballpark tonight, and all of those fans pretty much are going to be Knicks fans. Mets and Yankees are all going to be Knicks fans. So let them stay after the game. Let them enjoy. Let them watch the game on the Jumbotron. Don't make them rush home or watch the game on the subway with shoddy service. Let them watch the game in the arena. That would be an epic watch party. Epic for that stadium and for all the fans that would stay there. So if the Yankees are really not going to show that, change your mind. I'm imploring you to change your mind. Do the right thing. Because that would just be epic for everyone there, for all New Yorkers that would be there. So, huge night in New York sports tonight. Game 6, Knicks Celtics at the Garden. Knicks win. They're in the conference finals for the first time in 25 years. Celtics win. We have a Game 7 on Monday night back in Boston. Let's hope the Knicks win. And then the Subway Series, Juan Soto's return to the Bronx tonight at 7 p.m. What a night in New York sports. Doesn't get bigger, doesn't get better than this. So tune in. I'll be live before the Knicks game at the arena. I'll be live in the arena right before the game starts. We're going to do a whole thing there. I'll go live after the game if the Knicks win. I'm not going to be able to do my normal play-by-play that I do on TikTok. If you're a fan of that, I'm going to be at the game tonight. I'm not going to be able to do it. So I won't be there for that. And I'll be at Yankees-Mets. I'll be live for that, too, in Yankee Stadium tomorrow afternoon. I think the game starts at 1 o'clock. So tune into that as well. YouTube, TikTok, IG, you know where to find me. And tomorrow night, I will do a preview of Game 7, Thunder Nuggets, which should be an epic Game 7. That series has been a joy to watch, and I've loved every minute of it, and I can't wait for Game 7 on Sunday. I hope it's with the Knicks advancing and the Mets beating the Yankees. But I'll have a Game 7 preview, Nuggets Thunder, tomorrow night up on YouTube as well. So I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you, chat. I'll see you later. The shot clock is out. Peace.